want to tell you a story of the old days, when people were different from now. This story is mostly about Eskimo women, because it was women who made our clothes. Every Eskimo knows that proper clothes that will keep us warm even in our harsh winter weather, are just as important as food. A wife who can sew is a great treasure to an Eskimo family. Their very lives may depend on her skill with the needle. How can a man hunt without warm clothes? Even in spring, when a man hunts the seal, he must often stay for a long time on the sea ice. Wait in a wind so cold that it can freeze the blood. A sudden storm may catch him in the open air, away from shelter and the warmth of the oil lamps. Oh yes, an Eskimo must have warm clothing, and only an Eskimo woman knows the skill and secrets of sewing. Only she can sew a join so neatly, so cunningly, that her stitches keep out the water. Do you marvel at this? But it is true. My mother knew this secret, and the boots that she made for my father were as important to him as a good harpoon. Seal skins were most important to us. In summer, our outer garments were made from seal. The skins were cut with the woman's knife and sewn together with caribou sinews. I can still remember how I followed the hunters when they returned with the seal, and the joy of my parents when a big seal was cut up for a feast. The skin was always carefully dried and then perhaps softened by chewing or rubbing with oil or fat. Then my mother would take the skin and turn it into boots, jackets, or mittens. I gave little thought to these things when I was a child. Only now, in my old age, do I remember my mother's skill and kindness. As I have said, the skin was first chewed and made soft. Then my mother rubbed the boots with oil. All this she did as I played nearby in the warm sun of a spring day. I remember putting on my new boots. Then I played in the pools of water made by the melting ice and snow. But no matter how much water I waded through, my boots always remained dry on the inside. As I told you, my mother made stitches of exceeding neatness, and she was a woman of great value to my father. We made sealskin thongs for tying and for other needs, and my parents taught me these secrets. The skins were split into narrow bands with a sharp knife. These narrow bands of skin were then soaked in water. Thus the skin was made ready for stretching and scraping. I was always pleased to help in these important matters. I remember watching my parents and marveling at all the things they could do. I learned that the skin of a caribou or a seal could be changed by their hands into thongs for tying or a dog harness. A skin could become clothing or a tent. It could become a kayak, a whip, or a sled. All this I saw when I was young, when the world was new to me, and I was learning the ways of a man and a hunter. As I have said, this is a story about women and how they made all our clothes. My mother not only made clothes, but she also made the tent we needed for our summer journeys. For this, she used skins of the caribou, and her stitches were neat and strong. I remember playing near my mother as she worked, and I remember hearing her soft voice as she sang. These memories are very clear to me, for it was I who helped with the tent raising, and thus obeyed the wishes of my father. A tent is a fine, cheerful thing. A tent means summer, the spearing of fish, the hunting of animals. We cooked birds in a pot over a fire while our pack dogs lay yawning in the sun, sniffing the scent of food. Our tent was a summer home for us, a home to live in beside the water of lake or sea. Then I remember the time of snow's return and the building of igloos. Once again the season of warm skins, when the spear of my father worked hard for us. My memories are the memories of a child, but I see them now as an old man. I am thankful for the memory of my parents and the cleverness of a woman's needle. Our winter clothing was different from the clothes we wore in summer. In summer, the outer garment is made from sealskin, but in winter, our jackets were made from caribou. Our boots were made from sealskin and were tied firmly around the leg by a string or thong. I remember the carefree life of a child, playing alone or with other children. To leave the igloo and play outside, even in the coldest weather, was made possible only by the clothes we wore, clothes carefully made by the skill of my mother. There is a sadness in remembering the olden times, when I was young, when I played with my friends and thought only of laughter. There is a sadness in remembering when I was young, when I knew the kindness of parents and gave no heed to the cold wind. There is joy in remembering those other times, when the snow was a friend, when I played on the hills, rejoicing that the long darkness was gone. There is joy in remembering the kindness of parents, when my father returned from the hunt, and we enjoyed a feast in the igloo by the warm light of a lamp. There is joy in remembering the kindness of parents, when my father helped with seal he had killed, and my mother sang quietly to herself as she cleverly cut the skins and used her needle by the light of the lamp. Thus sang my mother. I am but a small woman, and my breath blows a song as I toil willingly. I am willing and happy to work, and in my eagerness to be of use, I sew with this needle. Sharp is my needle, like the tooth of a fox. I am but a small woman, and my thoughts make a poem as I toil willingly. I am willing and happy to work, and in my eagerness to please you, to make this garment, I sew with my needle and cut with this sharp knife. And the knife is sharp, like the bite of a wolf. These mittens I have made for the hands of one who protects me. I will sing a song, a little song about someone who stands willingly at the blowholes. There is joy in knowing that the garments I have made, unworthy as they are, will be a comfort to a hunter. The bitter cold wind strives in vain against his garments, the garments that I made so clumsily. I am but a small woman, but I toil willingly. I am eager to be of use to him who stands patiently at the blowholes. The song is over. My father has gone now. No longer does he stand at the blowholes. And the soft voice of my mother is but a memory. And that is the way we used to live.